Fine. So I'm coming to the topic that we are going to discuss today. But before that, to understand what is the need to discuss all of these things, right? What is the need to uh, discuss to understand, or sorry, discuss to understand the need of the topic, right? Or the need of the things that we are going to discuss today. So let me ask you a few questions first of all. How many of you understand the GPT, the chat GPT? How many of you heard about it, or how many of you are using chat GPT? Guys, anyone? Okay. This is saying G. Okay. Okay, ladies using, and Daisy is also right. What about Chinonso, Prince, Venga? Have you guys ever used GPT? Right. Okay. Can anyone tell me what basically GPT is? A simple definition, not in a detail, but in a simple definition, what you can understand through GPT, or what GPT is. Any idea? Okay. See, so for this purpose, let's understand about the, first of all, let me share the screen. Nice. Right. So here, today's topic is called LangChain, right? LangChain. And what is the purpose of where this LangChain used in terms of AI? So to understand this, let's take an example. In our day-to-day life, there are a lot of AI assistants available, like Siri is there, Google Assistant is there, right? And we are currently having some AI models, AI, you can say, kind of an advanced model or advanced framework, which generates the data on the basis of the prompt, right? Prompt means the input that is provided by the user. So when we are saying that an AI generates the output on the basis of the prompt, right? So what basically it means here? First of all, understand what is prompt. Prompt is simply a text full of instructions, right? Now, when I'm saying prompt, so this text is in the simple human language. Human language. Now, how an AI model generates the output on the basis of this prompt, that basically comes under the concept of LangChain, right? So what is basically LangChain here? If you look at the technical definition of LangChain, so LangChain says that it is a open source framework, means it is not licensed. Anyone can use for own process or own purpose, and you can manipulate this as well, right? Whatever your need is, whatever you want to generate through this, you can do that. Okay. And what basically we are doing with this framework, designed to simplify the creation of applications using LLMs, that is called as large language models, right? Now, so here, first of all, we need to understand what is LLM. Now, can anyone tell me what is LLM? How can you define LLM? Any idea, whatever idea you have?
An LLM is a language model that's, well, an LLM is some kind of language prompts that you use to communicate with artificial intelligence.
Good, good, right? Anyone else? Any other input you want to share? Okay,
I would say they are the brains behind tools like ChatGPT. So they are large language model computer program trained to read and understand and write human language.
right, correct. That is also right. Right, that is a brain, you can say, uh, behind understanding, processing, and generating, right, the human language. That is what basically we call as uh, a large language model. Correct. Now, here comes why we call it large. First of all, understand. Let's take an example of, let's say, GPT, right? Now, to train a simple module of GPT, right, it require a lot of data. Enormous amount of data is used to train GPT. Correct. That is why in recent, you can, if you are aware or have a check on the check on the uh, you can say events that are happening in the AI market or AI industry, right? Uh, the founder of GPT says that don't use simple things with GPT like greeting messages. Correct. Don't do the greetings with GPT like good morning GPT, okay, hi GPT, hello GPT. Not like that. Why? Because to generate the response of those texts, an enormous amount of resource power is consumed, right? That is the reason you have to write the optimal prompt to get the best result. Correct? Now, here in the GPT or in the large language model, there are multiple concepts are there. Basically, the LLMs work on the transformer architecture. Okay, and there's things we have already discussed, what is transformer architecture and all that things we have discussed in our previous sessions. So I'm not going into that now. Now coming to the things that make this LLM more efficient, right? Which is so when we say that we are going to discuss LangChain, or LangChain is basically used for the GPT or any AI assistance, right? What basically it do? So using LangChain, AI developers develop applications based on the combined LLMs with external sources of computation and data. Okay. Now there are some benefits using LangChain. What? First, which is most important, that is called modular workflow, right? So what we say modular, when we say modular workflow, it means here the chaining gets simple uh, in LLM for reusable and efficient workflow. Second is called prompt management. Prompt management. So what does prompt management say, or what it means actually? Offers tools for effective prompt engineering and memory handling, right? These are two most important points about the LangChain. Till this, anyone have any question or doubt? You can go ahead.
What's the second part of the prompt management? Prompt engineering and what?
Prompt engineering
Prompt
and
engineering
memory
and
handling.
memory handling. Okay, memory. Okay, thank you.
Guys, anyone? Any question or doubt? Okay. Now, so now we will discuss about the terms that we are using here. Okay. Now, so we will begin by first, which is called chains, because in the lang chain that is the main work, that is the main term. What is chain basically? So chain are nothing. It simply defines sequence of actions, right? Simple. It defines the sequences of the actions here. Now, when we are saying actions, it doesn't mean that you are doing some vague actions. No. What it meant here, each step can involve querying an LLM. That means you are generating a query, just like we do in kind of a database. In the same way, we are generating the queries here, right? That is manipulating the data, interacting with the data, right? Or doing some other work. So that is what we call as actions here. So when you are taking, or when multiple actions are taking in a sequence, that term or that process is called as chain here. Is this clear, everyone? Yes, no?
So are you saying when you make a query in ChatGPT, that's a series of chains, right?
Correct.
Correct. Okay, that's
That
clear.
is not series of chain, that will be a series of actions actually. And that series of action is called a chains. Okay. Now, so what basically this chain do? Understand? So it has a very simple workflow. What it do basically? Accept input, right? Process it. Now, when we are saying process, so we are processing it using LLM and then generate output. Generate output. Simple. Okay. Right. Now, coming to the second part. Uh, okay, before that, sorry, before that, we have to discuss whether there is any specific type of chain or there is multiple type of chain. So now we are going to discuss the types of chain in lang chain. Okay, types of chain in lang chain. So what is that? The first and the very basic type of chain is called simple chain. Simple chain. So what it basically do? It combines a prompt and an LLM. Second, called as chain with memory. Chain with memory. So what it basically do? It helps us to keep a conversation history. Now, what is the purpose of it? Why we are keeping a chain of history, right? Oh, sorry, the conversation history. Let's, for example, you're interacting with a chatbot, right? And if chatbot not able to, you can say, not able to remember the things, remember the previous queries, right? It will not able to keep it, or it will not able to generate the optimal result. Yes, no? Getting this point or not? Guys, clear to this? Clear, everyone? Any question or doubt? Okay. Now, Okay. Now coming to the second type here, sorry, the next type of chain that we have to discuss after the chain with memory. And it is one of the uh, most important one, not important actually, but most demanding in terms of your scenario, current scenario, which is called RAG. How many of you heard this term, RAG? Which stands for Retrieval Augmented Generation. How many of you heard about this? RAG? Anyone? Any idea? Okay, see. So what basically we're doing this, it uses a vector store retriever to fetch documents. Then after fetching the document, feeds them into LLM to generate an answer. Okay. Then coming the next type of chain, fourth, which is called as sequential chain. Sequential chains. In this sequential chain, there are basically two types. First is called simple sequential chain, and second is called, or the B is called sequential chain. Right? So when we're saying simple sequential chain, what it basically do, passes output of one chain as input to the next. You can understand it like a ML pipeline, machine learning pipeline. Example. Now, anyone any idea what is machine learning pipeline? How can we define it? Yes, no, guys.
It's
Anyone?
pipeline where you gather the data, you clean the data, then you use the data to train the model,
Correct.
and then you validate the results.
Correct. Absolutely right. Absolutely right. Right. So when we say pipeline, pipeline doesn't mean that it's some sort of rocket science. Nothing. Pipeline simply says that your entire step, that is, you after importing the data, right, until the final of the model, that is to generate the prediction or to do the classification, right, using any machine learning model, that every process, every step is automated. You are not doing anything. That is called as machine learning pipeline, right? So in the same way, when we discuss about the sequential chain, the sequential chain says that here the output of one chain goes to the, or it works as an input to the next chain, right? Now coming to the sequential chain, what this? It supports multiple inputs and outputs. Okay. Done till this? Yes, no? Any question or doubt? Anyone? Okay. Right. So these are the types of chain that we need to discuss in a LLM, right, or in a lang chain. Now coming to the second component of any LLM, which is called as prompt management. Prompt engineering. Oh, sorry, not engineering, management. Prompt management. Prompt we have already discussed, correct? Guys, what is prompt? We just discussed about prompt. Anyone?
Prompt management is basically how you enter whatever queries you want into ChatGPT, correct?
Correct. Definitely. Now, what is prompt here?
So like you're asking for something, prompt. And how do you manage that?
Right. That is the correct. Correct. That is the text you are passing. Right. That is what we call as a prompt. Now understand. So when we say prompt management, it refers basically to It refers to the
Another word you can use for prompt would be query. Is that correct?
yeah, query you can say, but query generally we use in in respect to the database.
Got you. But ChatGPT also contains a
Okay.
database, right? Because that's where you store the information, right?
In a layman term, you can use that. Not technical, but in layman term, you can say. Okay. So it refers to the systematic, not system, systematic way of creating, organizing, formatting, and dynamically using prompts, right? And specifically, when you are working with LLM, we use this term, correct? That is prompt management. Now, there are some aspect of it that why basically we do prompt management. The you can say using the prompt management, right? The most important thing you can do, the most important task we perform is called reusability. Reusability. That is, once you have defined, you can use it for multiple times. That is why we use the prompt management. Then second aspect is clarity. The more clear your prompt, the more better the result, right? Another one called flexibility. Flexibility. So through this flexibility, you can easily swap the things. You can easily modify, manipulate your prompts. And finally, the most important part is debugging. Right? That is understanding how prompt changes affect output. Have you guys done? Clear to this? Any question or doubt? Guys, anyone? Question or doubt, anyone? Okay. Now, we will discuss about the next, we can say, part on the prompt management, and which serves as a core of it, right? What is mouse? So here we are going to discuss about the core components. Components of prompt management. First is called the prompt template. Prompt template. Now, what is prompt template? A prompt template is a template string with placeholders like questions, that is your queries, or you can also say context. Context that can be dynamically filled with input data. Okay. Second component is called few short prompt template. Just a second, guys. Just give me a moment. Okay. Now coming to the next one, that is the next component about the prompt management is called few short prompt template. Correct. So what basically we do in this few short, here we define examples and build a prompt using multiple input output pairs, right? Similarly, there are other components like chat prompt. Okay, one more component is there, that's for the chat prompt component. So these are the type of components we have. Now, the most important part about any LangChain is that is called agent. And here, the agents that we are going to discuss, that you will also going to use in other, you can say, other framework like agenetic AI. So now we will discuss about the agents here. What are agents? In simple definition, agents can be defined as an autonomous system, right? So here, these are autonomous systems with LangChain that take actions based on input data. Right? Yes, no? Now here, what is the purpose of using agents? They perform uh, multi-step reasoning, right? They can think, they can act and observe. Yes, no? Correct? Now, what is the key concept behind using an agent? So here, the key idea is that instead of using manually connecting tools or writing logic, an agent uses the LLM itself to reason through a task. Okay. Clear till this? Yes, no? Guys, everyone till clear till this? Yes, no? Oh, okay. Now, coming to the next one, right? So after that, gents, the next concept in the lang chain is called vector database. Vector database, right? Now, what is vector? Can anyone define what is vector? What you can understand through vector as well. Guys, anyone? What is vector? Any idea? If you joined the NLP part when we were doing or when we were understanding the semantic analysis, there also I have discussed this vector. No worries. See, so what is vector basically? When we say vector, so here we are trying to represent your words in a higher dimensional space through a mathematical entity which we call as a vector. Now, what is the specialty about vector? Vectors can have a magnitude as well as a direction as well, right? Yes, no? Getting my point? Clear? Huh?
Can you please go over vector again? I thought vector was
Sure.
like a large, okay, go ahead.
No, no, go ahead. Go ahead. What is vector?
Isn't a vector like a large database kind of? Like a large quantity of something?
Okay, large quantity. Mm, anything else?
Like a large size database, maybe?
See. So basically, what is a vector? A vector is a numerical representation of text, or you can say other data as well. In a high dimensional space, right? And what basically do it captures the semantic meaning of the text, correct? This is what we basically call as vector. Now, when we say that using this we can calculate the semantic meaning, so for this purpose we have multiple methods, like a cosine similarity is there, word to vec is there, bag of words is there, right? So that is the things, that are the kind of things using which you can, or we can fetch the, right, we can uh, check the similarity between the multiple words. Okay, right. So I hope vector is clear. Yes, no, guys, vector is clear or not? Now, coming to the vector database. So this is your vector, and here the vector database. Vector database. So it is a specialized database designed to store, index, and search vectors efficiently. Correct, everyone? Done till this? So what is the difference between a database and a vector database? Understand. While traditional database, we used to do the exact matching, right? That is, we fetch the result on the basis of the exact matching parameter. While the you can say vector database gives you the result on the basis of your similarity search. Guys, everyone clear to this?
Please, can you come again? Right, I need to write that down, please.
Sure. Which
The
part?
difference between a vector, the difference between a vector and a vector database.
Okay.
Sorry, the difference between a database and a vector database.
Okay. See. So here we have database and we have vector database. Vector database, right? Database is the simplest form of a data, right? Where you are simply going to store the data and you are going to fetch the data from it on the basis of the exact matching or exact match. Like let's say for example, you have a table T1, right? And you want to fetch some result from it, right? So what type of query we generate? We generate like this: select, let's suppose I'm saying salary uh, from table name, let's suppose employee EMP, and where ID is equals to 101. Let's assume like this, right? So what it will do, it will only gives the output if the database has an entry for ID 101, correct or not? That is only when it gets the exact match, only then it gives you the output, correct? Yes, no? Getting this point or not? Database,
Yes, clear. Yes. Go
right?
ahead.
But when we say vector database, so instead of here, so database work on exact match and vector database work on similarity. Let's suppose, for example, if I not executing the query, but if I give a prompt, let's suppose if I give a prompt like okay, let's suppose if I'm writing give uh, code to create a chatbot, right? So what a GPT will do, what a LLM model will do, it will give you the output on the basis of the similarity. If there are, let's suppose, 10 codes available in its database, so it will give you those codes which are matching to your prompt, which are having the matching characteristic to your prompt, not the exact characteristic, but matching characteristic. Correct? Yes, no? Here, database, vector database.
Very clear. Thank you.
Okay. Anyone, any other question or doubt? Okay, so this is what the vector and vector database is about the LLM part. Okay. Anyone, any question or doubt? Now, coming to the next point about LLM here. Then we are going to discuss about the how the lang chain work. How lang chain works. So as I said, that lang chain is basically a structured pipeline. It follows a structured pipeline that integrates user query, retrieval, and response generation into seamless workflow, right? So basically, how the any LLM, how the lang chain perform in LLM. So you can here, let's suppose for example, I have some documents. Okay, so let's say these I have some documents here. Now these documents, first of all, what we do, it goes to the embedding first of all. Embedding. Embedding means that all the text gets converted into numerical format. Here we will do performing the embedding and also embedding. After embedding, all of the data that is generated through this embedding process, right? All of that goes into the vector store. This is called vector store, right? Now, what is vector store? Vector store is basically a knowledge base, kind of a database. You can understand. Okay. Then from this vector store, it goes to the ranked result. Means your result got ranks. That which result having the highest priority. Then it finally goes to the LLM. LLM gives you the answer. And finally, uh, again, the same part again goes to the vector store. Okay. Right. So this is kind of a repetitive task here. Then again, if let's say user generates some query, right? So here we have user. So user generate query. That query get again embedding. Then from that embedding, it do the semantic analysis or semantic search, not analysis, search. And then again, it moves to the vector store. So this is how you can say a basic understanding or a basic workflow, how the lang chain work, you can understand. Clear? Tell this. Anyone? Any question, doubt? Friends, Shubhatnoy, Okaled, Ramesh, any question? Right. Now see. So when we are saying that this is your structure of any LLM, how it works, right? So here we have query that is generated by a user. This query goes to the vector representation section. Presentation. Then we fetching the relevant information. Relevant information. Then we will be generating a response. Okay, so this is your final, you can say, step in any LLM. Clear? Now, question is that if anyone wants to work with LangChain, so how or what things you can say, or what are the prerequisites if you want to work with the LangChain, if you want to learn with LangChain as well, right? So there are some prerequisites, like let's suppose, for example, you have a basic understanding of NLP. Obviously, Python is there, right? And how to install the library, how to install API, right? All of that things, right? That is what make a will be a prerequisite for your LangChain part, NLP. Then you also have you must have the understanding of how the API work, APIs. Okay. Then uh, mm, that's it, nothing else, right? So this is how the LangChain basically, these are the prerequisites of the LangChain. Now coming to the libraries. So library for the LangChain is directly given in Python, which is called LangChain itself. So you're simply going to install the pip install LangChain, right? Once you execute this, LangChain get installed. You can import LangChain. Then you have to install the OpenAI, right? Because as I said, that this is a open source platform, so you have to install it first of all. Then you create an environment, right, in the Python, and then you can execute your queries and other things, right? You can create agents, generate the query, and lot of things. Is this clear, everyone? Yes, no?
Hey,
Now,
Sachin, don't at some after you do the pip install LangChain, don't you have to do an import of those libraries?
correct,
Okay.
right? Because see what happened when we write pip install LangChain, it just install the library in the environment, right? But if you want to work with this library, you have to write the import as well. LangChain. Guys, anyone? Any question or doubt? Guys, anyone? Any question or doubt? Anyone, guys? Any question, doubt? No one. Okay. If you have any question or doubt, not from this topic, from any other topic as well, right? That is job scenario or what other things you can do in ML or data science or AI, you can go ahead with that as well.
Hi, Sachin.
Yes, sir. I just having a water break. Sorry.
Okay, okay. Is the session over today?
Yes, sir. Actually, I was just waiting for the queries, right? Uh,
Okay,
because everything I have discussed in the LangChain.
okay, okay, okay.
After this, only
That's
the
fine.
implementation
Then,
part is there.
okay. So we can say it's the session is over today.
Yeah, we can say that.
Okay.
We can say that.
So fine. If nobody has any questions, so we can stop the recording and right.
Yes, sir. Yep.
Okay.